And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Saturday, June 28th, 2025. And the weather-related headlines across the state of Alaska. We still have a flood advisory in effect till noon Monday for the Matanuska River between mile markers 13 and 15 along the Glen Highway. That's just east of Palmer. There's an area that's impacting a few homes there along the river. There's been some pretty good erosion. Not so much that the water is at high flood levels. It's just the snow melt runoff, glacier melt runoff has caused the river to come up and enhance that erosion. But that'll be in effect till noon on Monday. Wet and breezy across the Panhandle today. That moisture is working its way through the Copper River Basin as well. Pretty good soaking northern western Copper River Basin. You get above Gulkana and west toward Tanita Pass. That'll also be crossing the Chugach Mountains. May even get Anchorage with some rain during the day as we go through the day Sunday. Increasing moisture and scattered showers and storms will also be across areas along the eastern Alaska Range, 40-mile Gold Country come Sunday afternoon. A few heavier downpours possible. And then there's a system coming out into the Bering Sea with a front, and that front does have some gale force winds with it, mainly north of the Aleutians. But the southwest coast and the Alaska Peninsula are going to get some wind and rain, especially Sunday evening into the day Monday. And some of that rainfall also will spread as far north as the Seward Peninsula, up there around Nome and Golovin. So starting out with the west there, kind of toward Etolan Strait, Tuksuk Bay, low stratus and fog, 44 degrees. We have quite a bit of this lower stratus in fog offshore there of the Beaufort, Chukchi Seas, and then extending out into the Bering. And that's the case there early this Saturday afternoon. Arctic Village up there toward the north end of the Yukon Flats. We have building cumulus, cumulonimbus clouds. There could be some scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms that way this afternoon, evening. Tanita Pass is getting rain and low clouds, 62. That's in response to some of that moisture crossing in through the Copper River Basin. Then Ketchikan getting rain, fog, breezy conditions this Saturday afternoon as a result of a front that's coming up there through the southern southwest portion of the Panhandle. So the enhancement to the rain you're seeing this Saturday afternoon into Saturday night is the result of that front and low pressure out through the Gulf. Now, there are no notable watch warnings or advisories when it comes to weather, but we do have the one flood advisory for the Matanuska Valley there between mile markers 13 and 15 along the Glen Highway because of some of the erosion that has occurred there along the Matanuska River. That's in effect till noon Monday. And then we have a fire weather update from the Alaska Interagency Coordination Center. Fire weather forecasters say some heavier precipitation across the southeast interior and Panhandle is expected now into Sunday, could even linger into early Monday. But overall, there is going to be a warming and drying trend coming up across areas of the interior further north, mid-upper 70s, maybe even an isolated 80-degree reading with dew points in the 40s coming down to the 30% range into the 30s. So definitely going to be warming and drying there. Fire activity will increase as conditions become more favorable, and that'll be in the week ahead because the forecast models have a pretty decent mid-level ridge building over the central northern interior. So that's going to bring some lighter winds, warm temperatures, and still the potential for some isolated to scattered afternoon thunderstorms over the interior through a good portion of the upcoming week. We have very high fire danger, the grass adjective here, between the Brooks Range and Alaska Range in the central interior. We overlay the spruce adjective. So early in the season, grass carries fire quickly and more effectively. Now that we're entering kind of the mid-season of fire season, then the spruce also tend to have a chance to dry out. And when we've had the warmer, drier conditions at times here in the interior, that's increased the fire danger to very high. Yukon Flats, areas of the lower middle Tanana Valley. So again, we'll keep an eye on that as we go into the week ahead. On the satellite imagery, there is moisture being fed northward up in through the Panhandle. That's pushing in. Low is going to kind of pull back some of that moisture to the west. Also, we have a scattering of thunderstorms northwest Canada into areas of the interior, even possibly along the Brooks Range. But out here to the west, there's a low pressure that's going to be coming up into the southwest and western Bering. And that system, although not especially deep, it will have breezy conditions with it. This front is going to have a band of some moderate to locally heavy rain as it pushes up along the west coast from the Seward Peninsula, Bering Strait, all the way down along the YK deltas, Bristol Bay, and trailing out along the Alaska Peninsula into the Aleutians. Of note, this is warmer air, and when that warm, moist air crosses the cooler waters of the Bering, that creates low stratus clouds, fog, and then areas of rain. And as we get into Sunday afternoon, we have one low pressure circulation southeast of Kodiak Island, just south of the Gulf, and there's going to be another little feature rotate northward, so that will bring another round of some rain, especially the southern panhandle, Sunday night into Monday. But lingering moisture could keep some showers or areas of rain going all the way from the panhandle back through especially the Copper River Basin along and south of the Alaska Range, pushing into the Chugach and Talkeetna Mountains. And then out here, this is a pretty good area of rain that will be pushing into the Pribilofs and St. Matthew as we go through Sunday afternoon and evening. By Sunday night into Monday morning, breezy conditions, and especially along the YK deltas. That'll be Kuskokwim, Bristol Bays, and creeping up into the Alaska Peninsula with that feature. Again, not especially deep, but it's a moist low. And then we have here in the interior with that ridge building up here across this region, drying out, heating up. There could be some isolated thunderstorms with that heating. And there's that other area of low pressure lifting northward just off of the outer coast of the panhandle, and this little front pulling more moisture in across the especially southern central panhandle. And by Tuesday, we still have that low sitting there off of the outside, it's called the southeast quadrant of the Gulf. That's just going to keep some showers going across the panhandle into the day on Tuesday. Meanwhile, the low that came up here across into the central Bering dives southeastward and leaves a lingering trough with some lingering showers. Some parts of the west coast, like you have Nulato Hills, or especially here, the higher terrain above Nome, Golovin, could pick up close to an inch of rainfall from that. And so that's how things are shaping up. But definitely going to be warming up and drying out again for areas here of the central northern interior to along the Alcan border, including the Brooks Range and the Yukon Flats. Lows tonight on the mild side, above 50, mid-50s there at Fort Yukon. Temperatures generally above freezing along the Arctic coast. Lows with some cloud cover will generally stop above 50 in many areas of south central. Same thing, stopping around or just above 50 in the panhandle. Daytime highs with cloud cover and lingering showers will be kept down anywhere from mid-upper 50s to lower 60s in the panhandle. Also, Copper River Basin, cooler conditions because of the rain extending back on over toward Talkeetna. Some showers trying to move in there. If you can get a few extra bits of sun up there in the interior, a few spots could flirt with 80 Sunday afternoon. I think a better chance come Monday afternoon, but we're looking at highs right around 77, Nenana, Tanana, on over toward the Yukon Flats. And then out here along the southwest coast, clouds will be increasing tomorrow afternoon with the rain arriving, especially Sunday evening, late Sunday night into Monday morning. And overnight lows generally many areas of the state from mid-40s to lower 50s, a few warmer spots like Fairbanks. And Fort Yukon could see lows in the mid-50s, but elsewhere generally in the 40s to around 50 degrees. And then high temperatures could be flirting with 80 there at Fort Yukon on Monday afternoon. And again, up through this region with the mid-level high building, we do expect temperatures to warm, especially through the middle of this upcoming week. So some 80-degree plus temperatures are going to be possible again, but with that daytime heating and the low-level moisture will allow for some cumulus buildups and scattered showers and storms then to be the rule. Still a bit on the cool side here across the panhandle along the Gulf Coast, highs generally upper 50s to lower 60s. If you can get a little more sun, maybe squeak out mid 60s, but nothing really warm along this area. And then out here along the Aleutians, high temperatures should get up in the lower 50s for Dutch Harbor, and only confined to the upper 40s there at both St. Paul and up there to Savunga. So here's the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook that takes us to next Friday, July 4th through July 8th. So essentially the holiday, 4th of July holiday weekend. The greatest likelihood where temperatures may average above normal will be along the Yukon River, especially middle upper Yukon and south of the Brooks Range. A little cooler than normal, maybe out along the eastern Aleutians and up to Kodiak Island in the Alaska Peninsula, as well as the Lisburne Peninsula. Otherwise, temperatures likely to average closer to normal across the southern mainland and along the Gulf Coast into the Panhandle. Precipitation-wise, we're still going to see some showery weather and some bouts of rain getting pulled in by systems that are going to be out over the Gulf, so we could keep that going in parts of the Panhandle, and more likely the Kenai Peninsula, including Homer, down through Kodiak Island, Lake Iliamna southwestward to Sand Point. Within that area, may have a little better chance of some showers around the 4th of July and for the few days after that. So keep that in mind as you make your plans, but otherwise the warmest conditions are likely going to be up here across the central and northeastern quadrant of the mainland for the 4th of July holiday.